How you feeling, PJ?
One day closer, man. One day closer. Almost there. Not 24 hours quite yet, but
How you feeling?
almost there.
You said almost there. That's not a feeling. That's a time frame.
Feeling all right. I mean, feeling
You got the War Eagle Tigers coming to your house.
Listen,
You have a dude named Bo that's going to be slinging the rock around in Happy Valley, handing it to a guy named Tank.
right. I also have.
You're going to counter that with Joey Porter Jr.
I can't wait for that for sure. But I'm also like, we got high school football tonight. Got a show tonight.
Got
high school football.
PJ,
got high school football recap tomorrow.
I think the best way I can describe this is PJ has
there.
a pensive look on his face.
I got to get there mentally.
Pensive is the best way I can describe PJ because it's anxiety ridden.
A little bit. I mean, there's a lot of other things too, but a little bit.
But when we dig down through it,
I will say
the overarching anxiety is coming from Auburn at Penn State.
Right. I will say that there was a tweet last night that turned into several tweets.
Oh no!
And of course, you have the whiteout coming on Saturday evening, and normally, of course, there's the stadium shots and the intro and the entrance and all that getting shared, and Kirk Herbstreit going, "Oh, it's the best," and everyone's sharing that. Last night, from Penn State football's official Twitter, Instagram,
with the check mark.
With the check marks came a all white picture with a white and grayed out Nittany Lion head, and that's all. That's it. And it just had the date.
What does it mean?
9/18/21. And it might just mean we're doing the whiteout.
Okay, but what do you think it means? What is your deep diving?
My deep down hope, my in my soul, if Penn State came out with some all white, whether it be the away uniforms, just the away uniforms, or some sort of weird all white alternate with the white helmet with a grayed out Nittany Lion head on the side, dude. I know.
Wait, no.
I know all of the traditional fans would go insane. I would be elated. Now, of course, then you don't want to go out and get beat by 80 points, but dude, I would be elated. It would be amazing.
Well, I mean,
but it probably just means, hey, it's the whiteout. We're going to white out.
There's a couple of
everything.
things to dive into here. Number one, again, anyone who's listened to the show knows we're big uniform people. You want to go into your biggest game, non-conference game in a minute, regular season non-conference game, and switch up the uniforms. We talked about this. This is a branding opportunity. This is when you got to wear the uniforms. I will say this. I've said before, if you're doing a whiteout, you got to wear all white.
Even if you just wore the away uniform.
Correct.
That'd be good enough.
Don't put no logos on that Penn State helmet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the point. That's the thing is how do you even do, if you're Penn State, how do you even really do an alternate all white jersey when your away jerseys are literally just all white?
Correct.
You know what I mean?
You take the stripes off. You just make it literally just white. Everything's white.
Right. I don't know about that. I don't know if that would look good.
Don't y'all wear black cleats though?
Yeah. But no, even if they just came out with the away uniforms, I would love that.
Well, I'm looking at Auburn's page, and they have a Game 3 image, kind of like a movie poster.
Yeah.
And it's got a cave opening to Beaver Stadium.
Right.
With a whiteout happening, 2 tigers, and then a player walking out, and the player's wearing the all-white Auburn uniform.
Right. Interesting. That sounds like an awesome image, by the way. That sounds pretty. Sounds pretty sick. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So their graphics team is doing a great job.
I mean, I didn't know you guys had a tunnel entrance to.
Yeah, right.
Oh, hold on. Speaking of entrances and speaking of tunnels, you guys hear about this malarkey that's happening up at Notre Dame?
Ooh, the rare malarkey drop. I love that.
Yeah, this baloney that's happening up at Notre Dame.
What's going on?
Well, it's not huge because apparently Notre Dame has a size issue. Purdue is playing at Notre Dame this weekend.
Right.
Purdue has a tradition called the world's largest drum. They literally have a 10-foot tall drum that they take everywhere they go. They wheel it out, and there's 2 people, one on each side, that bang the drum when the band plays at halftime, right? They've been doing this at every single Purdue football game, home and away, since 1979, including at Notre Dame.
Oh, God.
Notre Dame has informed them that they won't be able to bring their drum to their game at Notre Dame for this. Just completely, again, Notre Dame has a size issue. They renovated their stadium, and so the home entrance is plenty big enough. The tunnel is plenty big enough, but the away tunnel is not big enough, and they're not going to allow them to use the home tunnel because the home tunnel is only for Notre Dame coaches and athletes. I want to start like a GoFundMe to rent a helicopter.
Yeah.
To drop that thing in at midfield.
Yes.
Or I just want to go up there and help them ramrod that thing through the home side and onto the field.
Just one way or the other, man. Just get some security.
But again, I'll say it for a third time. Notre Dame has a size problem.
Yeah. No, they absolutely do. And that's, I mean, yeah, they have for a while. But like, go back and watch the Alabama Notre Dame national championship.
I was going to say, I think the issue might be Notre Dame wants to hold on to their title as world's biggest beating.
Yeah, I think that's solid. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Obviously, Notre Dame. That's just Notre Dame being Notre Dame, though. I mean, that's the thing. I know we got.
But the school that's all about the tradition and the gold helmets and the win one for the Gipper and play like a champion today. They're going to kill somebody else's tradition.
With all of that, you have a point there, though, because with all of the innovation and crazy things we've done with like parachutes and whatnot, and diving in the stadium, like I'm pretty sure.
Cam, you got to bring like a Chinook in there, right, and just drop that bad boy at midfield. Right in.
I'm so down. What? No?
You guys can hear me?
Oh, yeah, we got you. You said no?
Can you hear me? Yeah, I said no.
Oh, we can hear you.
Good.
Oh, see, Cam's diving into the Notre Dame fandom over here. It sounds like Cam's against big drums.
I'm not a Notre Dame fan. Trust me. I'm tired of seeing them in the playoffs. Let's put it like that.
So, again, I'll ask you again. Should Purdue rent a Chinook and drop this drum at midfield?
I guess. I mean, the rain on Notre Dame's parade, I guess so. I'm not a Notre Dame fan.
I'm not asking you if you're a Notre Dame fan. I'm asking you if you think it's baloney that Notre Dame is killing a tradition that goes back to 1979.
Yeah, I mean, who is Notre Dame to do? Well, who is anybody to kill a tradition that goes back decades? And yeah, who's anybody to do that? So, I mean, I guess you got a point. I guess Purdue can do that.
With all like stories we've heard of embarrassing and ridiculous away team locker rooms that like aren't up to code, whatever, and are on purpose so that they feel uncomfortable. I mean, you have Iowa who has like the all pink, I think still, away team locker room and whatnot to try and just weird them out weird the away team out before games. The fact that Notre Dame literally did their renovations to the T, to the point of making the away team's tunnel that much smaller.
Well, they said they made it small because they wanted to maximize seating capacity.
And that's again,
so it's like you added what, like 40 extra seats?
Yeah, who cares? That's malarkey and baloney because you know why they did it, dude.
To not allow the drum in, and
not
also
specifically
and
the
also
drum.
So they can never schedule Alabama because Alabama's line would not be able to fit through that away tunnel.
Absolutely, that'd be a very very good excuse for that. No.
Hey, sorry. It's like Nick Saban's like, hey, we'd love to schedule a home and home with you. It's like, oh, yeah, we would, but I don't think you guys would actually like legitimately fit inside of our locker room or tunnel. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no disrespect, by the way, but yeah, sorry. Instead of Alabama, and we're gonna have to schedule like Kent State because they can fit through.
Yeah, we'll put it on Paramount Plus. You got to sign up for a 7-day trial. How many people do you think are coming up on a 7-day free trial for Paramount Plus because they bought it or signed up for it last week? And for the Toledo game, signed up for it last week, and they're like, you know what, I'm not going to watch this game. And then they're like, oh crap, this game's really tight at halftime. I got to watch this game. Sign up for all right, I'll remember. I'll set an alarm on my phone. How many people do you think are going to forget to cancel their Peacock? Is it Paramount or Peacock? Peacock, I think it was Peacock.
Yeah, probably Peacock.
Peacock. Subscription. How many people do you think are going to forget to cancel that? Because it's coming up this Saturday.
Close to all of them. I mean, close to everyone, unless they're listening to this right now, which is basically a warning. Like
there's a bunch of Notre Dame fans going, "Oh my god!
Oh crap! I forgot about that." Yeah. No, but absolutely. I venture to say like 90% of people forget when they do those types of things. I know I definitely do. Like, I think I signed up to watch one of the U.S. men's national team games like 3 or 4 years ago. And then we got kicked out of the World Cup by Trinidad and Tobago. And I was like, all right, I'm done watching this.
Speaking of trying to cancel things, you guys remember a few months ago when Nebraska tried to cancel this Oklahoma game that's coming up? This week, a lot of people thought this was a bad weekend. This is a great weekend.
Yeah.
There are so many storylines this weekend. It was like, oh, it's just Penn State Auburn. No, there's a lot of great storylines this weekend.
I think there's a lot of good storylines anyway. I like going through our picks and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw a lot of interesting games, even
this
the ones
is a great week
that are supposed to be a blowout. I mean, certainly could not be very quickly.
But I'm trying to get these storylines out of the way because, again, Nebraska tried to cancel this game and tried to schedule another home game because they said, like, due to COVID-19 economical impacts, they wanted to schedule another home game.
Due to COVID, we don't want to get beat 70-7.
Correct.
So, yeah, we're trying to schedule another home game. Yeah.
Which, again, this one it could go extremely sideways for Nebraska. It probably will.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. I mean, Oklahoma almost lost to the power call, but I mean, Tulane hung with Oklahoma.
Tulane.
Nah, I think Oklahoma beat Nebraska by like 3 touchdowns, man. Oklahoma beat Nebraska by 3 touchdowns, if not more.
Cam's coming after it, but I don't know, man. Like Scott Frost coaching for his job.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, but that doesn't always work out. You know, I mean,
that's probably true.
People use that a lot. Like, well, we're gonna win one for the Gipper, and then that does not happen. You know, I mean,
making some money though, making good money.
Right. I don't know. I was very excited to see what Scott Frost could do.
How mad do you think they were when Fox hit them with the, hey, guess what? You're on Big Noon Saturday.
Oh God, yeah. Well, it's the brand, right? I mean, how do you not?
Well, it's a historically great rivalry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nebraska ain't been real good in a long time.
Yeah, all those times back in the Big 12 and everything like that. I mean, there's no way, Fox was going to miss this game.
Right.
But I think Nebraska kind of knew that a little bit when they were trying to get out of it. So,
well, speaking of Tulane, and
it's going to be rough.
Yeah, Nebraska, you try to get out of it. You didn't. We all know that you tried to get out of it. So now we're all like the high school kids. We're like, oh, fight. I
think even like their own fans, if you're a Nebraska fan, are you a little embarrassed to just like show up to the game? Like, yeah.
1,000%.
I know I would be.
It's kind of like when you cancel on somebody. You're like, hey, man, I can't hang out. And you cancel on them. And then you see them at wherever you went after you canceled on them.
Yeah, right.
And they're like, oh.
That's why you don't. All right. I'm not going to.
It's fair.
I'm not going to.
We can move on to Tulane.
Big lessons of the day here on Second Down. I'm not going to get into that.
We can move on to Tulane because you see the helmets that Tulane is wearing.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Fire throwback helmets. We're playing Ole Miss this weekend. And actually, they're only a 14-point dog to Ole Miss, which I found interesting. But they're wearing awesome helmets. I encourage you to look them up on Twitter. But one of the patches they have on the back is just an amazing flex because Tulane, if you'll think back, they were a member in the SEC way back, like 80 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? They have a patch on the back of their sticker or on the back of their helmet that says SEC champs 34, 39, 49. And I just went and did some math. So they have 3 SEC championships.
Yeah.
They have more SEC championships than Arkansas, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Missouri combined.
I love it.
That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Who are they playing this weekend?
Ole Miss.
And Ole Miss was not on that list.
Ole Miss has 6.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean.
Ole Miss has never won a SEC championship game, though.
Right.
They won all their prior to
that.
I don't think they've actually ever played in an SEC championship
then again,
game.
so did Tulane. You know what I mean? So
that's fair.
Tulane hasn't won one.
The only one out of Arkansas, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Missouri to win an SEC championship game or an SEC championship, excuse me.
SEC championship?
Yeah. Arkansas, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and Missouri.
Oh Lord,
it's gonna be weird.
You could take Texas A&M out of there easily.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Arkansas.
You know what?
You want to throw a guess out there?
What South Carolina, man.
That's like it's got to be one of the two, right? There's no way it's Vanderbilt.
Nah, it can't be Missouri.
Yes, and about the 1941 Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Okay, all right, there we go.
What? 1941?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey,
Oh,
fun fact
Lord.
too. Georgia Tech has more SEC championships than Mississippi State, Arkansas, Missouri, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky combined. They have 5.
Nice.
Dang.
Even better for them. That'd be cool. They should put those patches on the back of their helmets too. But again, like they should do that against like an Arkansas or like a South Carolina, where it's like, hey, we won your conference championship in the past, but you still haven't, and you're literally in the conference.
And
Now,
also,
doing it
this
against,
one this one makes me so happy. 2 teams in the SEC have never played in an SEC championship game.
Right. Vanderbilt.
And
Wait.
Is it Arkansas?
no, Arkansas's played plenty.
You said 2 teams?
Yeah, I
Arkansas has
don't
been to 4
Texas
SEC
A&M.
championship games.
Wow.
It's
Before my
A&M.
time.
Texas A&M.
A&M. Yeah. That's
Vanderbilt
Yeah.
and Texas A&M.
right.
Only
Yeah.
2 SEC teams to never play in an SEC championship
They're
game.
not going to apologize.
Missouri came
for it
in
either.
just like world beaters.
Yeah, right out the gate.
Yeah, Missouri's been to 2.
Mhm.
Well, that's the
They
thing.
got boat raced in both of them, but they've been to 2.
Texas A&M has probably been more competitive over the course of their time in the SEC.
Squeeze me.
But I mean, like you
You're
said,
talking
Missouri.
you're talking a
came
2-time
right in.
SEC East champion, Missouri.
Yeah, but other than that,
All the
how
talent that takes.
other
Because you had
years,
some fancy guy
the
that won a
other years they've
Heisman.
gone like 7-5.
Well, I mean,
Texas A&M is like 9-3
they've been there.
every year. You know,
They've been there.
they're also not in the West.
They've been there.
Okay,
A&M had a chance when they beat Bama.
Why are you riding for Texas A&M over here, PJ?
I'm just saying, like if you look at their teams, how competitive they've probably been more impressive, even though they haven't been to a championship game.
Listen, all I
because
know
they're not
is
in the West. They're not in the
Vanderbilt
East.
and Texas A&M have been to the same amount of SEC championship games as I have.
True. Vanderbilt's just
And also, fun fact, and this is just like out there, all of us right now have more career receiving yards in the NFL than Kadarius Toney.
wow. That's
Because he is currently sitting at -2 receiving yards for his
That's
NFL
insane.
career.
Are you kidding me?
he did go to the Giants. But
Right.
that's the thing. You go to the Giants, that's what happens.
It didn't look half bad last night. though.
He has
The-
2
the
career
Giants didn't look
receptions for
half
-2
bad.
yards.
Yeah, but that's what they do to you, Cam. They pull you in a little bit. They give you a little bit of hope, and then in
No, they
5
did that.
weeks,
They did that to you twice last night.
in 5 weeks they're going to be 1-6.
Oh,
man.
hey,
They're one-
that drop pass? Yeah, that drop touchdown pass, that hurt.
Drop pass.
that
Yeah,
hurt.
That was
Yeah.
bad. We got more to come here on Second Down, though. We're just breaking down a full weekend of college football coming up. Just dive into some of the more fun storylines going on. And again, Falcons, Jags, they're both searching for their first wins coming up this week. Really cool guest coming up on 3 and Out. We'll tell you about it coming up next year on Second Down. If you miss any portion of the show, check it out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or ESPNCoastal.com. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source, Alabama. You got to say it like that, right? When you're talking about a big football. Alabama.
Of course.
Heading to Gainesville to take on the Gators. We're going to dive into our picks coming up in the next segment. But also, Georgia, South Carolina coming up this weekend. 7 o'clock kick coming up on Saturday. So I know PJ will be flipping back and forth between Penn State, Auburn, and Georgia, South Carolina. Just riveting stuff going on there.
Of course, yeah.
Actually, fun fact, our biggest line of the week, according to Caesar Sportsbook, is Georgia, South Carolina, 31.5 points. So again, we'll get into our picks here coming up in the next segment. I got a quick trivia question for you guys, though. Alabama's heading to Gainesville.
Oh, man.
You know the last time Alabama lost to an SEC school at any point? Postseason, regular season, the last time Alabama lost to an SEC East school. They haven't lost.
East.
Yeah, they haven't lost to an unranked team since 2007.
Right. SEC
And
East.
they played in a bunch of SEC championships.
SEC East. Okay.
East,
Maybe.
Either 08 or 09.
Yeah.
It's 08
I'll
or
take-
09.
Did they lose to? I feel like they lost to Florida in like the Tebow years at some point.
They did.
Yeah. So it was like 2006, 2007, something
Cam,
like that.
Cam, you got a guess?
And then they came back and beat him in the SEC championship
It's
game. And that's
either-
the famous crying, Tim Tebow crying.
Yeah,
meme.
it's in those years, 07, 08, or 09. I say 08 or 09.
So the
It's
last time Alabama lost to Florida was in 2008.
Okay.
That was in the SEC championship game. Then they came back, like you said, the next year and beat them. Tim Tebow crying.
Yeah. Right.
But the last time they lost to an SEC East school was 31 games ago. Stephen Garcia and Marcus Lattimore and Steve Spurrier
That's right.
at South Carolina. 2010.
well, Alshon.
Yeah.
The year they had
Yep.
Alshon Jeffrey.
Yep.
Okay. Dang. I forgot about that.
Man,
yeah.
no, that's so true. Yeah, that was such a good game too.
Yeah.
I watched like every second of that
Marcus
game. That
Lattimore was
classic.
unstoppable.
He was. That
Yeah,
was
he was
2010
different.
was
Yeah.
the last
he's
time. Again, 31 games against SEC East teams since. Haven't lost a one.
No, not even,
Haven't lost in the SEC championship since 2008.
right. Right.
Yeah, they're pretty good at football over there in Tuscaloosa. We do have a cool guest coming up a little bit later to preview the Georgia South Carolina game with us at 5 o'clock. Tim Pops Frisbee is going to be joining us. Now, with no help, can you guys guess why they call him Pops?
No.
Tim Frisbee, I just want to give you kind of a story. In the early 1980s, I think 1981 was his first year playing basketball. He became the first black basketball player in the history of Central Catholic boys basketball. All right? That's just him playing high school.
Yeah.
Mr. Frisbee then joined the Army after high school, turning down some scholarships to play basketball at some schools like Tennessee Tech. Joined the Army, had a 20-year Army career. Then he enrolled at the University of South Carolina.
Holy cow. Yeah.
And in 2004, at 39 years old, he made the South Carolina football team as a wide receiver. A year later, in 2005, at 40 years old, recorded a reception
Yeah.
against Troy.
Man. That's incredible. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we're going to catch up with Tim Frisbee coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Really an awesome story. This is back in the early 2000s, and he made the rounds. I think he was on he's either on Letterman or Leno, but he was on CNN, ESPN, all of it. So
Yeah.
he made the rounds after that. But man, I'm 10 years younger than what he was when he went out there, and I would die.
Yeah. I will say though,
I mean, he's obviously harder than I am because
Yeah,
he's
I
in the
mean,
Army
20
for
years
20
in the
years.
Army.
Yeah.
yeah, although I mean, while he probably stayed in tip-top shape, obviously for those 20 years. Also, I'm sure got pretty banged up.
Well,
I mean,
your
during
body,
those
but your
years too,
body's
so,
just
like,
different. Like 18-year-olds are still growing, their bones are still made out of rubber.
right.
Like it's different. Things start setting in.
Yeah.
The older you get, and I know people are yelling at me right now because like, you're not even old. You don't even know. I can start to feel it a little bit. Things just it takes a little bit longer for things to recover.
All
Man,
I'm saying is, I woke up the other day. I don't know if I told you about this or said it on the show. I might have because it was big. But like, I woke up the other day on my day off of all days, of course, and it's like 2 hours before I wanted to wake up. Huge cramp in my left calf.
Oh, that has nothing to
Just
do with age. I've experienced that
giant.
at all ages.
I don't care. I
Yeah.
haven't felt it in so long.
That's
so I
bad. Yeah.
immediately was just like, I'm 90 years old, and rolled around in my bed for what felt like 5 minutes. And then for the rest of my day, had just a giant knot
Yeah.
in my left calf.
Terrible. I'll get out of my Jeep sometimes, and like as I'm sticking my leg out, I'll just like it gets kind of tight, and I'll feel my hamstrings start to cramp, and I'm like, no,
don't you do it.
Straighten the leg out
Yep.
outside of the car. But no, my dog sleeps at the foot of my bed, and I have like flipped her off my bed in the middle of the night because my calf went.
Oh.
And I just have to you have to fling that leg over.
Yeah, exactly. You got to
straighten it out. And she went,
you can.
Well, I'm sorry. But holy cow, that is an interesting kind of pain.
Yeah,
that's fair. We got to get to our picks. What we're going to do is take a break here because I know we like to get in depth on these picks. I want to give us plenty of time. I don't want to rush through them because there's a lot of I feel very uncomfortable about this week.
I am.
Yeah.
Because
I was uncomfortable about last week.
There were some wild lines. We'll update our standings in the picks because a person who is no longer at ESPN Coastal is just currently, I'm not going to say dominating, but he's still sitting atop the polls right now. So we'll dive into our standings. We'll get our picks coming up next. Get you ready for a huge weekend of college football. All that coming up next right here on Second Down. Gotta dive into our picks here on Second Down. And guys, I have some regrettable news to inform you. As we stand here on a Friday afternoon, getting ready for technically week 3 of the college football season, Cody James Queen,
Oh yeah.
formerly the producer of this show, has moved on down to Florida, but still participates in our picks, is sitting number 1 in the standings.
Big
12
big
12 and
pick
8.
guy.
Yeah, 12 and 8 against the spread. I'm in second place right now at 11 and 9. Cam, you are just one game behind me at 10 and 10. PJ, you're down tied at 5th place with BJ at 9 and 11 on the season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just 3 games off the lead.
That's where I like to stay.
All right, just 3 games off the lead.
Right under 500 in my picks.
You're right there. We have more
Yeah.
picks to get to. Again, a really fun weekend, I think, of college football. We're going to start with a rivalry game coming up. And again, kind of the way we do this is in order of how they appear on the schedule by time. So the first few games will be some noon kicks. It gets to 2:30, 3:30, and then down into the night games. So first game of the weekend, number 15, Virginia Tech. They're on the road against unranked West Virginia, but West Virginia is a 2.5-point home favorite.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead with Virginia Tech. I think that defense showed out very well against North Carolina, came up with some big plays. I think they're going to travel well to West Virginia. Now, I'll say the local flavor, though, with the wide receivers there at West Virginia, they can make some plays, and they certainly can.
Yeah, Winston Wright might be the best returner in college football right now.
I wouldn't surprise to see him take one back against Virginia Tech coming up this weekend. But I think that defense very strong, the offense good enough for the Hokies. Give me Virginia Tech in this one.
Cam?
Something makes me want to say West Virginia because they're at home, but I'll do Virginia Tech too.
That might be it.
I'll do Virginia Tech. I see West Virginia lost to Maryland week 1, and I don't think Maryland's I don't think it's just a powerhouse football program, and I'm used to West Virginia being good like back in the day. So give me Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I'll ride with the Hokies too. I mean, outside of some big kick returns for Winston Wright, West Virginia really hasn't played anybody yet. So I'm going to go with Virginia Tech. Again, they got that big top 10 win over North Carolina to start the year. All right, Miami's had a weird start to the season. You get absolutely creamed by Alabama, and then you have to scratch and claw down to the final drive to beat App State. You actually won last week, but dropped 2 spots in the polls. So number 24, Miami, is at home. They are 6.5-point favorites over 2-0 Michigan State, but a team that really hasn't played anybody yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just more confident, even with the rocky start that Miami has had, more confident in who they have and the ability they have offensively and defensively. I don't think not too high on Michigan State this year, and especially on the road going down to Miami, which I know isn't some insane, home field advantage, but I think the trip and everything involved with that. You got the heat as well down in South Florida. So give me Miami for this one.
Cam?
A little bias here. I'll go Michigan State. I think
family up there, right?
Yeah, shout out to James. I know you're watching, James, at some point, but you go back and watch it. But I'll go Michigan State. I just like they have a good running game. Always a pretty solid defense for the most part. And I think they'll be able to play a little ball control with Miami. I don't know if they'll win outright, but this is going to be a close game. It's not going to be a blowout.
I'm with you, Cam. I think 6.5 points is too much for me. Michigan State, led by former Georgia defensive coordinator Mel Tucker. I think they cover that 6.5 points. All right. We already talked about the motivation for this game.
Yeah.
For the Boilermakers. Purdue, unranked, at number 12 Notre Dame, actually our second team in a row here that's at home and won, but actually dropped in the rankings. They were number 8 last week. After their close game against Toledo, they dropped to number 12. Notre Dame is a 7-point home favorite against the Boilermakers.
I don't know who I took. I know I sent you the picks already. I don't know who I took, but give me Purdue. Either way, even if I picked.
You made the picks prior to the drum story?
I did. Yeah. So give me Purdue because of the drum story, because of the motivation, and also.
Yeah, you took Notre Dame. Like
Notre Dame seems like this kind of team too, where like every game this year is going to be exciting. Like every game, like look at their first 2 games of the year, just absolute barn burners, even against teams that maybe aren't that great.
Can we do like the degrees of separation here?
What do you mean?
Florida State lost to Jacksonville State
Right.
last week.
Yeah.
Notre Dame had to have Florida State miss a field goal after they had hit the field goal, but their coach had called a timeout for them to hold on and beat Florida State.
Yeah.
So Florida State lost to Jacksonville State. The week before, Jacksonville State got beat 34-0 by UAB.
Yeah. It's tough.
And then Notre Dame, again,
Yeah.
had to hold on, pop their quarterback's finger back into place to throw a last-second touchdown to beat Toledo. I think it's okay to say Notre Dame's probably not good.
No, they're not that great. There's like every game they might go undefeated this year, and every game's going to be like a 1 point or 2 point.
Hey, we got to put them in the college football playoff. Got to.
It's just like that 2012 team.
It's just, and the only reason we're putting in the college football playoffs because we don't want to have to go buy another helmet for another team. We already got Notre Dame, so we'll put it in.
Yeah.
So you're going with
I'll take Purdue. Yeah.
Yeah. PJ's going Purdue. Cam, who are you going with?
I have Notre Dame losing 4 to 5 games this year. This is one of them. I got Purdue. I got Purdue outright.
Yeah, Purdue is a 7-point road dog. I think that's a lot of points. Notre Dame has not showed a propensity for playing defense. So give me Purdue on the road with those 7 points. All right. First real big game in terms of national significance coming up. Number 1, Alabama at number 11, Florida. The Crimson Tide headed to the Swamp. Florida is a 14.5-point home dog.
No one would. I mean, I would love it if Alabama got upset just like everybody else, but this is just one of those situations. I don't feel like there's an avenue to do that. I feel like offensively, you're kind of playing into Alabama's defense and their strengths. If you put Emory Jones out there at quarterback, yeah, he has the experience, but he has not looked very good, and he's mainly going to be running the football into the teeth of that Alabama defense. If you put AR-15 in the game, that's a young guy, inexperienced, going against Alabama, and that offense isn't being stopped anytime soon. So Alabama covers the spread, probably wins by 21-24.
Cam?
Easy money. Bama by 4 scores, 4 touchdowns, man. Easy.
He's so close.
Here's where I'm at with this. This is the best defense that Alabama's played so far. Florida's good in the secondary, and they have a really good front seven. Like they have some linebackers and some defensive linemen that can cause havoc. And also, can you guys tell me the team right now whose quarterback faces the most, like the highest percent of pressures per dropback?
Is it Alabama?
Alabama.
Yeah.
He's pressured on 33% of dropbacks.
Huh.
And some of that is some of that's he's holding on to the ball too long. And maybe Brenton Cox or another one of those Florida edge rushers gets home, gets a strip sack, something like that. Maybe the game starts speeding up for him a little bit because this is clearly going to be the fastest defense he's seen. Florida's defense is on another level from Miami's, and they played Mercer last week.
Right.
But that 14.5 is a good spread. Against
yeah.
No, you know what? You don't make money betting against Alabama. Give me the Crimson Tide. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
There you go.
Listen to my lizard brain and just go with Alabama. All right. In a game that's the complete opposite of the one we just talked about, Florida State on the road at Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a 4.5-point favorite at home.
It doesn't make
Where are we at in college football when the Demon
don't know.
Deacons are favored at home against the Florida State Seminoles?
Right. It doesn't make any sense, but give me Florida State. Like, I don't know. They showed up against Notre Dame. Literally, their whole defense didn't show up on the final play against Jacksonville State. But again, this is just another team. It seems like they're going to be unpredictable and just weird. So give me Florida State to cover, maybe even upset Wake Forest. That's the strangest sentence I've ever just said.
Cam?
Yeah, Florida State. I think Mackenzie Milton, he'll come out there and have a way better game this game and get that first win. So, yeah.
You know what? Sam Hartman's real good. Bill Smith's a good running back. And I think this is still a big game for Wake Forest because it's still Florida State coming to town.
Yeah.
Give me the Demon Deacons.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the Demon Deacons in this
All
one.
right.
All right. Georgia Tech at number 6, Clemson. Georgia Tech, they're a 28-point dog on the road.
Yeah, give me Clemson.
All right.
In a row.
Cam?
Yeah, no explanation. Clemson.
Clemson really hasn't found its stride yet. but Georgia Tech's a bad football team.
Yeah, they're gonna find it.
Give me the Tigers. All right, Georgia Southern at number 20, Arkansas. Georgia Southern had a couple of really significant injuries this past week. Derek Canteen, their freshman All-American corner, who tied for the lead in the FBS last year in interceptions, he is out for the season with a torn pectoral, and they're going up against an Arkansas team that had the biggest win they've had in a long time last week against Texas. They are 23.5-point home favorites over Georgia Southern.
Yeah, like you mentioned.
But you get Justin Tomlin back if you're Georgia Southern.
Well, there you go, and that's certainly good, but a tough start to the season. And give me Arkansas rolling with the momentum, which is again weird to say, but give me Arkansas.
Cam?
Yeah, I like this Arkansas team. If Georgia Southern didn't have all those injuries, it might be closer, but definitely Arkansas, especially on the road.
Emotional letdown. Justin Tomlin back. 23.5 points is a lot. I mean, if Arkansas wins this game 35-14, all right.
Yeah.
That's a good win.
Yeah.
I think Georgia Southern puts up some points with their quarterback back. I think they cover that 23.5 points. So give me Georgia Southern on the road, not to win outright, but to cover. All right. In our biggest spread of the week, South Carolina at Georgia. The Gamecocks might have a chance to start Luke Doty this week at quarterback, or it could be old Zebulon Noland starting in Athens against Georgia. Last time they came to Athens, they beat Georgia 20-17 in overtime. Rodrigo Blankenship missed a potential game-tying field goal. Georgia's a 31.5-point favorite at home, and we don't know who their starting quarterback is.
Yeah, that's such a big spread, and it has made me think. But this is one of the dumb reasons why I'm always so bad at pick'em, because like last week, Georgia burned me, right? Because I listened to all the hype about UAB throughout the week and the backup quarterback and all this other stuff. So I was like, I'm going to pick UAB to cover the spread. Of course, that didn't happen. Total opposite happened. So now I'm like, all right, I'm going to roll with Georgia. Now I'm going to lose this game because South Carolina is going to cover, but I'm still going with Georgia just based on principle and because I'm too hard-headed.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Georgia too. Cam, who you got?
This is hard.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who's starting. Who's starting?
Well, I mean, Stetson, if he starts, I mean, throwing 5 touchdowns and a half.
Apparently.
If it's stats, man, you know what? Man, I want to say South Carolina so bad.
South Carolina.
So. Yeah.
Christian of all people knows I respect South Carolina so much. I do. 31 points. 32 points is a lot. Yeah. Give me Georgia. I don't want to talk about it. Give me Georgia. I don't want to talk about it.
All right, doesn't want to talk about it. All right. Quickly, this one I thought was funny because the ACC network is billing this as, quote, the South's oldest rivalry. When we all know the South's oldest rivalry, the Deep South's oldest rivalry is Georgia-Auburn. But sure, right. ACC network, you're cute. Do whatever you need to do. Virginia at number 21, North Carolina. North Carolina, an 8-point favorite at home.
North Carolina, I'm going to go with Virginia, actually.
Wow.
I'm going to go with Virginia. Not super confident.
The fighting Bronco Mendentals?
Yeah, not super confident in North Carolina's offense. Virginia has been quietly impressive. Big win over Illinois last week. So give me Virginia.
Cam?
Keeping it close.
North Carolina by 10. I think Sam Howell put it together.
According to Cam. Oh, man, that's tough because you need 2 scores to win. You know what? Give me North Carolina. I think they figured some stuff out last week. And finally, I saved it for last. Number 22 Auburn, Bowen Tank hitting the road, taking this Brian Harsin offense to Happy Valley to take on the number 10 ranked Penn State Nittany Lions.
Yep.
Penn State, 5-point home favorites.
There you go. Still not insanely confident in Penn State's offense, but based on principle, I'm gonna have to go with Penn State in this one. My heart.
You don't have to. You can go with Auburn and just say Penn State's gonna win by 2.
No, that's the thing. My heart tells me, and my head actually, both tell me that Penn State, if they win, are gonna win 21-19 by 2 or 3 points.
Hell yeah! But we're gonna have 2 touchdowns, a field goal, and a safety for Auburn.
But yes. I still just because I can't have that logo up, when you put up the graph, I'm going with Penn State.
All right, Cam.
Win by a touchdown.
I love Bo, so you gotta give me Auburn. Sorry, PJ. I gotta go Auburn. I love my boy Bo.
I understand.
I think you guys have your own Tank on your team, right? You have a fullback named Tank.
No, we don't have fullbacks. Yeah, James Franklin is very adamant about that. Yes, tight ends, no fullbacks.
Well, you have some kind of back named Tank.
I'm not sure.
Well, you do. I'm letting you know.
Gotcha.
There's a player on Penn State's roster named Tank.
I'll have to look it up.
He's not going to be the Tank you're worried about.
No.
Tank Bigsby's coming to town. I think he probably goes for like a $180 in this game, is what I'm imagining. Give me Auburn on the road.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong.
I don't know why. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know why people feel like they have to
No.
apologize.
I hope I'm wrong. I
Cool.
want you to
Me
know
too.
that.
No, I mean, me too.
I just have more
obviously.
confidence in Auburn's offense, even though they haven't
you
played
should.
anybody yet. They haven't played
Fine.
anybody. I have more confidence in Auburn's offense against the most confident quarterback in college football,
Ugh.
Sean Clifford. So yeah, give me the Tigers on the road. There's our picks. You can see them on social media. We got to take a break way over here. We'll come back. Final segment, second down next. Big show coming up today on 3 and Out. The guys will be joined in the 3 o'clock hour by Augustus Stone from the state, taking a look at this Georgia and South Carolina game. And then coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, as we mentioned, former South Carolina Gamecock wide receiver Tim Frisbee going to join the show. Again, if you didn't hear the second segment there, Tim Frisbee at 39 years old after 20 years in the Army, walked on at South Carolina, made the team, and then in 2005, recorded a reception. So really interested to get Tim Frisbee's story coming up here on 3 and Out. If you missed any portion of our show today, you can find it on ESPNCoastal.com, Spotify, Apple Podcast, or SoundCloud. BJ Bennett, Ben Troop, Kevin Thomas coming up next right here on ESPN Radio. Listen along on ESPNCoastal.com.